better.
How about if we exchange a chair?
Absolutely.
If you want to use it, and does anybody mind if I see on the elevated level? Like this?
No,
See better?
you can see better, it's better. Thank you.
Okay, I'm on the pedestal now. Okay, so who wants to volunteer and tell me about their expectations for today's class? You know, are we going to use meditation like most people do as a lubricant, as a DW40, to continue doing what you're doing, but make it more tolerable, kind of manageable, but keep on doing the same things, meditating, expecting a different result? Is that it? I mean, what is it? So, what are the anchor points? What makes, excuse my voice, what makes a meditation, the way we call it the Shafaw meditation? So, as the name implies, Shafaw means miraculous healing in Farsi. So, by definition, then it's geared towards healing. Any meditation we do is geared towards healing. So, for example, we have the Shafaw, regular Shafaw, which people come here for healing purposes, and you know, I do like 95% of the work, at least. And there are people who are in coma, they call us and we bring them back from coma, doesn't matter where they are. Pretty successfully, actually. And the person in coma in Australia, in Iran, in Europe, you know, they don't really know about me, and I really physically don't know about them. They are not going to ever meet me, I'm not going to ever meet with them, but they come out of the coma. It's like something happens there. And, but basically I can take some credit for it. It's like, if those of you who've been in class of positioning, it's like I position myself to do it, so I receive all the help necessary at the time. And the healing starts to manifest. But I'm an operator, I'm a good operator. I turn the switches on and off, and I'm there 100%. Then it comes the, what we call meditation of Shafaw 2. And what is that? Knowing that no physical healing can really happen without addressing the emotional aspect of it, then that's what we call Shafaw 2, in which I do about 20+% of the work. You do about 80%. But it's kind of, you know, two people meditating together. Then we have, of course, have the something you might not have heard, hybrid Shafaw, which is a combination of the two. Shafaw regular healing or hands-on healing, and Shafaw 2. That's called hybrid, in which, you know, I participate, I do healing, then I back off, and I allow them to bring in their charges, then we let go of the charges, and so forth. And then we have Shafaw Harkat, which is the movement of healing. And some of you have practiced that some years ago, and we stopped it some years ago because of logistics and basically me being very busy in here. So Shafaw Harkat in essence is very similar to Tai Chi or Qigong, but it's geared directly towards healing. And from the get-go, those of you who have done it, you know you engage in healing actually. You assume the platform of a healer. And guess what? While you're doing healing, you don't need healing. While you're projecting light, you become a conduit for light. So light and darkness, they're mutually exclusive. They cannot occupy the same space at the same time. So should you take the liberty and actually position yourself to engage in healing, helping others, you become a conduit for light. That is a form of meditation too. I'm sure, you know, by the virtue of you being here, you must have done some kind of meditations. And the way I talk, you know, I talk with a passion like always, you know. And I want it to be interpreted just like that, you know. I have a lot of enthusiasm. I mean to pay respect to those of you who have been meditating, however you have been meditating. So you have my respect, I take my hat off, but I already did. So if I say something that may be misinterpreted or interpreted as I'm pointing or I'm criticizing the way you have been meditating, that's not definitely my intention. Okay? All right. So there are a few things that I would like to mention after paraphrasing Rumi. And in that, I kind of look you in the eye, I engage you, you know, and if you feel uncomfortable, simply turn your eyes away. And also, there's a recording. We might at some point turn the camera towards you if you have a question. If there's a time for question and answer, we turn it. If you don't want it, turn it on. So, you know, the camera moves and it's moving, of course, it's going to take your images. Anybody not want to be captured? You're good? Okay. So, Ms. Alma, you're good. All right. All right. You're, I'm hoping, comfortable. And, you know, if you feel that I'm picking on you, rest assured I am. My first official meditation really started when I was at the presence of Master Healer. And, you know, quite a setting, but, you know, very, very dramatic and traumatic. Lots of stuff is going on. People are coming with all their hopes, and you know, it's like, that's the last thread. I'm going to hang on. And there's so much passion in the room and all that. And I see him sitting, and of course, he's doing healing, which is a form of meditation. And he constantly would ask me to come and sit next to him, and it's like, okay. So I sit there, and people are pushing, and I get up and go. And then he comes and said, where have you been? I told you to come and sit here. I said, okay, people are pushing. So everybody back. So I sit there, and all of a sudden people are looking at me like I'm a saint, or a very good close friend of Master Healer. And you know, by nature I'm bashful, so I sweat and I blush and so forth, and I'm sitting and I'm comfortable, and people are asking me now very, very potent questions about healing. It's like, wait for Master Healer to come. You know? As I'm sitting and I'm trying to not look at the people because they try to engage me, look me in the eyes, and through me find a way to Master Healer. And my head is down, I'm trying not to look, and I see half a grain of a rice. And I'm thinking, I feel the energies. Can I get some energy from the rice? You know? A molecule, an atom, atomic bomb, you know, this should have a lot in it. Let's see if I can get it. And I started to mimic Master Healer, you know, how he was breathing, so I was breathing, looking at that, and then it's like a heat comes. So, okay, something is happening. So that was my first official meditation with half a grain of rice, but in the presence of the Grandmaster. Presence, I'm paying attention to the, bringing your attention to the word presence means a lot. See, when you are a conduit for healing light, and by God, by the time we go through our last meditation, which is titled I Am, I Want, you are going to be that. And I hope you are going to maintain it. It doesn't matter what you say. The way you look is here. Healing light pours out of your eyes. You know, when you utter words, it doesn't really matter. You know, your words riding in the air, carrying the healing frequencies, and so on and so forth, and it's just right for you at that moment in time. It just opens doors for you to connect and receive more. You know, when you touch, forget it. It's really healing. Your precious presence becomes healing, not just your presence. And when I talk about presence, that's the present that Master Healer had. And in this presence, a lot of things are, of course, revealed to me, and so forth. So anyways, I'm hoping that we can collectively mimic that today at some point. And it's kind of, we are warming up. You're warming up towards that. Okay? So even though you may not have done any meditation, you may never have any thought about becoming a healer. Maybe you're going to have the mindset to do it. Because as soon as you engage in the act of healing, you become a conduit for light. Disease cannot be, if that's an incentive for you. It just cannot be. Light and darkness are mutually exclusive. Light is health and wealth and abundance, and darkness is the opposite. Okay, let me paraphrase one of my best friends, Rumi. The way light knows itself, with the moon. Be that with me. When you do things from the heart, you feel a river in you, a joy. Keep knocking and reaching out, and the joy inside will eventually open a window. Look out to see who's there. Feel yourself being quietly drawn by a deeper pull. In your light, the lover learns how to love. Presence. When I was at the presence of Master Healer, within his presence, I started to remember. There are a few terminologies that I use during this gathering, and I would like you to know, like for example, when I say remember, yes, I do mean remember, but at the same time is that we have all these team members and we hold hands and we remember, we join, we remember. Okay? So that's one of the terminologies. A few things that are essential for us to anchor and gear towards the Shafaw meditation is that in Shafaw we are free from the hypnotic command that we are here to learn. It's just a fallacy. It in fact is blasphemous. We are here to use learning as a ritual to remember. Remember, unite. Knowing who we are, remembering who we are. So that's one of the essentialities, and it's kind of hypnotic command in all cultures. People talk about it, but you come and learn. You do a good job learning. You get maybe your PhDs, maybe you don't, but you keep on learning, and you're 121 years old, and then you die. Big deal. How do you apply? How do you bring the information? How do you share? Because one huge element of love is really the ability to share. When I do healing, I really share my love. So sharing, how do we share that? It's a vast topic. We could have, we are contemplating to have a 7-week class for meditations with, in respect to different aspects of meditation, like meditation and chakras, meditations and soul. Oh, speaking of the soul, what is the soul? That's something that I may talk about. Soul is really the intelligence that runs you, plus experience. So if I talk about soul, that's what I mean. The pure intelligence is almost non-physical. Still a little bit physical, but not much. So the closest term would be ecstatic for that intelligence. But as soon as the intelligence starts to have experiences, like the very first time you were born, then we call it soul. So meditation and the limbic brain. We talk about limbic brain. Usually in our meditations, we say the ancient brain. The ancient brain, it's kind of located right under the brain. The famous pituitary gland, you must all have heard of pituitary gland, is right there. And is in charge of 6 major organs. So however you meditate, when relaxation comes, it's like the pituitary gland starts to relax. You know, and right away it's like 6 major organs inside you start to relax too. They have better communication and they relax. Okay, so we talk about ancient brain and limbic brain a lot. You know, when we do meditation, it's like all the primordial messages of threat coming from way, way, way back, since the beginning of time. They kind of slow down and come to a halt. And it's like, and the subconscious mind starts to rest and allows you to actually meditate. Prior to that, you can't. You're engaging in preparation to meditate. It's like you're warming up to meditate. You know, it's like you want to do some sport and you stretch and you do this and that. So, one of the main aspects of Shafaw meditation is that we engage in doing. We're not ashamed of it. You know, we may call it meditation too, but we actually do things. We do breathe deeply. That's an act of doing. You're not really meditating, so to speak. So doing this is important there. When in meditation, and hopefully it happens, and you can witness it for yourself. When the shift starts to happen, in some level, and I'm hoping, I don't know, it may happen to you, for you today or not, you start to consciously come up with new agreements. New agreements versus the old agreements. So, in fact, you're not really trying to fix the old agreements that haven't been serving for you. Because anything you try to change persists. You go back to your own life, look at it. Anything you have been trying to change persists. It's like watching a movie in 1950s. Black and white. You see the movie, nicely done, in 3D, in 2013. Cinematic, you know, lots of special effects, really, really interesting. It's the same movie, the same storyline. It hasn't changed. It doesn't change. Anything you try to change simply persists. One reason, because us as human beings are persisting, because we are changing. So in Shafaw and Shafaw healing, we change nothing. We create a reality opposite to what we want to change. And then we look at that, okay? These are the anchor points. Now, I want to maybe, with eyes open or closed, just think. Why are you showing interest in meditation? You know, and as I'm asking these questions, I'm going to slow down and talk even slower than I usually do. What interest do you have in meditation? You know, stay with it. Are you stressed? Are you suffering from anxiety? Are you grieving? There is lack of motivation. Are you simply just stuck? Are you simply interested in doing better in life? Do you want to be extremely creative and have fun too? Are you using meditation as a form of prayer? So technically, I don't know if you've answered yourselves or not, prayer is a form of meditation. Except that there is a lot of reliance on, you know, high above. There are many, many stages. Reliance on deities, archangels, angels. And it's like you want to go through them to get where you want to go. It's like, you know, you want to stop and feel you're safe before you take the next step. So there is heavy reliance on dependency on deities, archangels, what have you, or people whom you have known. It's like I meditate and constantly ask for the help of Master Healer, and my mentor. Well, can I have this, can I have that? I'm totally dependent. I'm not really addressing my own intuitiveness. I'm not really necessarily interested to know, but I want to have what I want, or what I think I need. So there is a lot of dependency in prayer. Again, I don't mean to be critical of it, we all pray, I hope. It's kind of preparation for you to get into your direct connection to love source. So I don't say God, I say love source, supreme consciousness, in case you're a person who hasn't had good relationship with your religions or religions of others. So love source is what I say. In the previous class, the positioning class, I talked about positioning. So when you position yourself in a plane of reality like here, you have no choice but to breathe in the smell of burn. It's in the air. You have no choice. Can you breathe something else? However you position yourself, wherever you position yourself, you live, you breathe, you behave the frequencies of the field you're in. So for example, right now in this environment for us is holy and sacred, and for you it may not be, but lots of good things are happening, It's like watching one of those Harry Potter movies, angels come and go, stuff is happening, trust me. And one reason I'm saying it truthfully is that when the weather is kind of smoky, people have better abilities to see the so-called invisible helpers. And also in the background, like the background I am, don't be surprised, I know the light is distractive, but you may actually see stuff. And I want you to have the mindset with you that if you see something, don't think, oh, it was the reflection of this or that. Okay, so it may happen, it may not happen. But we are open to it. We are open to that possibility. That for you to see maybe a glimmer of light around me, or on that side, that is put there for a reason, the black color, sometimes when I'm doing healing and teaching, people actually do see the aura, usually of the person I'm working with, against that black background. When it's foggy, it's a good time for you, to probably, hopefully it's not cold, for you to sit and meditate in the fog. Better yet, create your own fog. When you take a shower, it's one of the best times to meditate. First of all, the act of washing is very, very important. It cleanses you, it's not just the physical stuff, but what is anchored in the physical stuff. It starts to cleanse and purify. And then we have the mirror in the bathroom, hopefully. You start to stare at the mirror and you may start to see your own aura. It may just happen just like that, You don't have to go through extensive training. It may just happen, okay? So, the idea is to stay open as I continue with the fact that, as soon as you make a choice to position yourself into an area, to a plane of reality to be, then you actually release blocked units of time, the units of time that are blocked because you're suffering from indecision about some area in your life. You actually release time. You actually release time, you feel it, you see it, you know it. Time actually gets released. You actually do have time to do more now, or to accomplish what you want to do. Okay, so you actually, as soon as you make a decision, and is there a difference between decision and choice, you're releasing time. Then you have access to that time. Okay, so very important. Decision making is very important. When people are trying to make a choice between the new job and the old job, and they stay with the old job, it's a choice. But they want the old job. They feel secure having the old job. When you're chronically ill, or someone that is chronically ill, it's a job. They're not healing, and I mean it with all due respect. I don't mean to point or blame. They're not healing, really? How many years? Well, I think they made a choice to stay where they are. They seek the relief. They go to doctors, physicians, and healers, and meditate. They really don't want a new job. The new job is being healed, you know. Then of course you have to venture out from the old plane of reality, the old job, into the new job. And they don't want that. If the pain is 10, they want it to be maybe 2, but they don't want to let go of that too, because they have anchored their personalities, their characters, their beings into units of pain. And whatever that goes with it. The doctors, physicians, friends, acupuncturists, healers, what have you, they don't want to heal. And they tell you that. A lot of them have actually the courage to tell you that. Don't touch my asthma. I'm here just for the cancer. Don't touch my cancer. I'm here for the asthma. They actually tell you. You know, 10, 15 years ago I would never talk like this because I didn't have the case studies. Now I have plenty. They actually tell you. Don't touch that aspect, you know, because they are not willing to let go. It's very clear. They actually tell you. If they tell me, there is no reason for me not to believe it. Okay. What else can we talk before? I'm talking about the. You know, I talked about the structure, that Shafaw is structured and so on and so forth. And you might have done meditations that have had strict rules. But that doesn't mean that method is structured. They just have strict rules. You know, so rules are this. You know, you are being honest with you. What is the definition of honesty? Well, in Shafaw we say the ability, the want, the mindset to see the condition as is, not as I want to see it. Not to see it the way I like to see it. So that's the definition of honesty. You know, if there is disease and I choose not to see it, and I try to heal, what am I healing? There's nothing to heal if I don't see what is wrong. If I don't see the condition as is, and interpret it the way it makes me feel better for now, you know, kind of satisfies my ego a little bit here and there. So I could be the man, you know, I'm the man. But I don't see the condition as it is. There is no healing. So then I say honestly in our meditation, be honest with you, breathe, be honest with you, meaning seeing the condition as is, not as you want to see it. Okay. I'm going to use a term, it's getting traction, it's called pseudology. Pseudology. Has anyone heard about it? It's the art of lying. It's the art of lying. It's a new term in the English language. Pseudology. The art of lying. You know, I see people that they are truly grandmasters in lying to themselves. You know, they ask you a question and you give them just the answer because, you know, I don't have any concerns, I don't have any investment, you know, I just give them the answer. They choose not to see it. They prefer to continue lying to themselves. You know, being pseudologists, like the politicians. You know? So they all are pseudologists. So I may use that term too. In my healing room, especially in my healing room, you know, sometimes people come and as soon as they sit, I know they are pseudologists. Can anyone tell me why?
Aura. Nope.
Aura. Thank you. You know, what comes is like, psst, initially, psst, smoke of brown comes. Okay, the person is entertaining a lie. Does not mean to lie to me necessarily, you know, but is entertaining a lie. It's like depicting a story. You know, we all make stories in our minds. But this person is trying to actually make believe. So the brown is increasing, the person is really geared towards making make believe out of the lie, whatever it may be. Like for example, you are the most powerful healer I have ever seen, you know, and brown comes. You know? So does the aura move? If it moves, it means it has become a make-believe lie. If the aura stays steady, is not moving around one, and you may not see it, but there is a feel to it that you may feel it. Half of the gaining something is to know about something. Then you can get it. So we were talking about people who make believe. There is Brown and so on and so forth. I'm just depicting a story, narrating the way I see it, as I see it. Okay. It may be interesting. It may not be interesting, but that's really how we play the holy game of Shafaw in here, meditating. So the person, the pseudologist, depicts lie as truth. And what happens is that there's expectation. Assuming, let's say, my old friend here, sees something, wants to see something as truth, and then expect me to see it that way. Well, I'm not seeing it that way. So there is conflict. You see, the conflict is, that's his game, and he expects me, though, to see it the way he wants to see it. So, at some point there is resentment from either one of us. At some point there is even anger. Then the more the process continues between us the way it is, then there is disconnection. There is the element of withhold. It's like he knows hiding something from me, but because he makes hidden something, he has not hidden something, then he behaves like the lie is not a lie. So then he becomes truthful. He talks to me and there is no Brown in the aura. It becomes quite interesting, It's like, we make believe lie, then over the years there are layers upon layers and layers, and totally looks different now. Even the person were to be able to decipher, peel off the layers, still can't reach the core. And people have been doing it in the name of meditation, analysis, and so on and so forth. Trying to peel off the layers, getting to the core of what is, and they would never get there. The whole thing is based on the lie. So honesty in Shafaw, as I was talking, is very important. You hear me say that. In fact, in our classes, people are not shocked anymore. They say something, I say, "Are you honest?" It's like, "Of course I'm honest." Well, is the condition really as you're depicting, or you're depicting it differently? Okay. All right. So Shafaw meditation allows you to dissolve consideration. When you dissolve your considerations, which in some level, it's like strings attached. Anyone that you have ever seen, ever, maybe on the highway, going the opposite direction, 70 miles an hour, there is a cord between me and the individual, between you and the individual. Anyone you have ever encountered, ever, momentarily, briefly, there are cords of connection between us and other people. So in some level, I look at some people and it's like, they look like those places for phones, usually dug in the ground. You look and it's full of wire, and it's like, who knows, brown, blue, green, and they are all connected and they are weirdly, kind of entangled and all that. It's like, who can make sense of all this? So these considerations are just like that. There is a cord that we connect, they connect to us. So, if you were to see all my cords, you wouldn't see me. Okay, so one of the meditation is actually attempting at least to do some of that, removing some of those bungee cords. And that could be a totally, very valid meditation for you from now till the end of your life. You're sitting in your car, behind the traffic light, you have 30 seconds, you remove a cord or two or more. And those are what is commonly known as considerations. So Shafaw meditation dissolves the consideration. In Shafaw meditation, we almost always title our meditations. So, what's the title? Money. Okay? I could title it abundance. But I sit and meditate, and initially, whatever I do, however you meditate, and I'm thinking and I'm meditating, nothing is going to happen. Nothing positive is going to happen. Because you're thinking about it. So what you do is actually title your meditation, abundance, money, and then you start thinking about it. You're giving the universe a cue. You know? It's like what you want, and then you sit and wide open to all possibilities, to what comes. Okay, so giving title is one of our one of the ways that most of the time we meditate. We actually give it a title. Titles, giving title allow you to come up with new agreements, leading to decisions, and then choices, and of course unblocking time. All right. So remember, if you do not have choices, you don't have time. Then you're rushed for time all the time. All right. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about gravity. Everything about what we do is about physical universe, physical body. The only reason, and that's one of our axioms, the only reason you gain the experiences that you're gaining is because of this physical body. Or why would you gain these experiences? When you leave the body, you're perfect already. So the only reason we gain the experiences that we happen is because of the physical body. It's, quote unquote, a God's temple. It deserves respect. It deserves paying attention. Free from being obsessive, free from being narcissist and egotistical. I did not have any role, in the way my head works. That's how I was born. And you didn't have any role in the way you're looking and, your eyes, and you too, and none of us. So there is a condition as a result of lack of decision making, which may be resolved in meditation. And if you don't resolve it, then there is fear, though we justify the fear. It's like you're working 2.5 shifts. Why? Oh, I have mortgage. Oh, okay. Everybody understands. The person is actually being a pseudologist. That's not the reason. You could always go to a different place, have less mortgage, work maybe 2 shifts. So there is fear. And fear is very close to body death. Very close to body death. So the person cannot have motivation. The person is stuck. You can't really resolve things. You make things better, but you never overcome. It's always a challenge. It's always things are lasting. Nobody seems to help. Very, very important process. Now, for maybe a minute or two, I would like us to do a short meditation of time together. It's very important for us to actually come to the same time zone now. Okay? So maybe you take a deep breath, please. Expand the chest, the diaphragm. Give your precious heart more room. Be expansive, please. As you inhale, stretch. Stretch the time of inhalation. Think of time. I'm going to say something you may think is a compliment, but it's true. You indeed are a master of playing with the element of time. I repeat, you indeed are a master of playing with the element of time. Why? You always made time fly. You always also made time last longer. Always. But I question the timing. So inhale, please. And let's see if you can conjure up, start to have a mindset to make time fly when you're not having fun. It's just an agreement. Remember? Just an agreement. You have agreement You can make decisions, you have choices, you release blocks of time. Then you have time. Make the agreement, please, to make time fly when you're not having fun, and make it last longer when you do have fun. It only makes sense. Inhale and hold on to your breath. Hold on to the agreement. Ask yourself a question. Is this an agreement? You've always done it. I'm sure there has been times that you wanted to get from point A to B. In the old ways would take you 30 minutes. You're 5 minutes late. You still get there in time without speeding up. You all have done it. I'm bringing your attention to the fact, consciously, that you can actually do it. You are indeed a master of playing with the element of time. So inhale, please, and as you inhale, it's like you can see blocks of time. It's like you can see blocks of time. So I want you to imagine that you put the palms of your hands at the sides of each unit of time and stretch each unit. And you have long arms. Stretch. Stretch. Stretch each unit as far as you can stretch the units. It actually happens. It's not a feat of magic or an act of miracle. It's mechanical, it's physical. You're living in this physical universe. It's absolutely 100% true. It's possible. Stretch the time of inhalation, knowing that you can accomplish tasks within a span of a few stretch units of time that otherwise would have taken you decades. When you establish what you wanted to establish, it's hard to believe. Linear timing, just a few seconds. Think. Come to agreement with me and with you, please, that you can stretch time when you're having fun. That you can stretch time when you want to accomplish humongous creative processes. You can. Inhale slowly, unblock times, the units of time, and then stretch them. Time. Time keeps on ticking, 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 ticking. As I bring your attention to the time that we have here, right now, right here. So what if I told you that you can have access to the information of 10 billion years ago now? Maybe 13.7 billion years ago. Do you think I'm exaggerating really? Just think about that. So if you have the access to Hubble telescope and you're seeing an explosion 10 billion years ago, what are you doing? You're having access to what happened 10 billion years ago through a telescope. The telescope actually behaves like a time machine. The telescope is a time machine. So, let's put our expectations in order and maybe use binoculars. To look at your own life. I think it's a tall order. We all have been challenged a great deal with this lifetime, with the events of this lifetime. So let's make this lifetime better. You know, you don't have to have a telescope. Take it easy. Binoculars will do just fine. And focus on this lifetime. Focus on this lifetime. And I want you to just look at this binocular. As you're breathing and becoming expansive and all that, I'd like to talk about gravity. It's the physical universe, right? Everything about it is physical. It obeys by the laws of the physical universe. Gravity, of course, is so very important. Einstein was spending many, many years to find out why the light does not go from point A to B always at the same time. You know what he found out? Gravity causes the universe to curve. Gravity causes the light to travel probably longer distance to reach from point A to B. So if you bring gravity into a condition, then things are different. The same with your thoughts. They warp. The thoughts that you think you're thinking and you were thinking for the past decades, they may not be the same thoughts at all. They're warped within gravity. So for you to really see what has been happening in your life, then you must clear the lenses of your telescope. Clear it of the dusts of easy emotions. What are easy emotions? Anger, frustration, resentment. We dust them off from the lens so you can see better. It's like the house is full of smoke and you can't see anything. We open the windows, we dust off, and then we start to see things. It's as physical, it's as easy as I'm telling you. So if you haven't had the information, now you have it. Gravity. Think about telescope. Think and consider telescope as a time machine. Now as you're breathing, as deeply as you're comfortable, be conscious of the sounds and echoes of your own breath. We still are engaged in doing process. Do breathe consciously, please. Inhaling slowly and stretch the time of inhalation. Intent or niyat. Niyat is intent plus the element of the sacred. Intend to let go of your considerations. Stop seeking, searching, trying to find out what they are. Just plant the seed. Start to look into the space. Start to look into the space between the two breaths. It's like you're looking through a keyhole into the universe, your very own. You look through the keyhole and you start paying attention to you. The space between the two breaths carries so much information. And the bigger the space between inhalation and exhalation, the easier your access to information. As we are breathing and deeply, hopefully, and rhythmically conscious of your breath, conscious of the fact that you actually can stretch the time of inhalation. You're rehearsing your mastery of playing with the element of time. As you're breathing deeply and consciously, let me tell you about a few axioms for today. Axiom 1, as we have been talking about, is that we are living in the physical universe. Everything about it is physical. And that in each lifetime you're supposed to enhance the games, the holy games that you play in this lifetime. So everything subtle, that's axiom 2, regardless of how subtle it is, including the intelligence that runs you, is physical. Like physical body is physical, of course. Your senses are physical. Your emotions are physical. Your etheric body is physical. Your aura is physical. Your thoughts are physical. Your mind is physical. In fact, your mind dies with you. When you leave the physical body, your mind dies with you. The intelligence that runs you, plus the accumulation of all the experiences so far, is also physical. Time is also a physical phenomenon. The cord of connection is also physical. All the experiences that we are gaining in life is because of this physical body as you continue to be conscious of time. Continue nurturing the idea, the agreement that you are stretch the units of time. Inhaling slowly, and especially as you feel more comfortable in the space between the two breaths, you do have access to the information of the universal mind. The cord of connection is physical. What is the cord of connection? It's a cord that connects us to love source and can be seen. From the area about 3.5 inches below your navel, there is a cord. The color is silver white. And it's your only physical connection to love source. That's an axiom in Shafaw, for Shafaw healing and Shafaw meditations. There is such a cord, and thankfully the cord has been seen for the past eons by other accomplished clairvoyants. The best time to observe the cord of connection, so I want you to have the mindset that you are going at some point to be able to see, feel, know, or hear the cord. The best time to see the cord, however, is in the evening or at night. At nights, I can tell how many people are in a building by the number of the silver white cords that go up through the roof. If the cords are entangled, it means people are intimate. Have the mindset, while you keep on stretching the units of time, that there is such a cord. You don't have to believe nor accept, but have the agreement. Stay open. Heart, the physical heart, is the seat of consciousness. Any and all frequencies you have ever encountered and the ones you're receiving and the future ones, they must go through the physical heart. She is the grand central station for all the frequencies that come to you. Last axiom for today. Karma is not the law of justice. It's the law of cause and effect. So if you transcend from the plane of reality you're in, karma comes. Karma is like a cookie monster. Comes to get you. You're not there. Karma keeps on going. So we can transcend karma. Inhale slowly. As I bring your attention to a few short testimonials. It is amazing to go through life without my buttons being pushed. I'm present all the time and I have so much more time. I'm home again, dancing with the mysteries of life. I have time. Such a joy. You welded it together, cosmology, human body, meditation, also poetic. I have more time. My disease went like a smell. My heavy charges around the ex-husband is blown away, and some of them are completely deleted. After my first series of Shafaw 2, I never feel alone. Bacteria, mucus were purged out. There is no sign nor any symptom. This is amazing. There also may take some time, depending on how you stretch the units of time, that the healing may manifest in your Shafaw meditations, in the meditations that we do together. Like this person says, 6 weeks after our last Shafaw 2 session, I had a body sensation of reclaiming that part of me that had been stolen at such young age. Now I'm free from the tyranny of the mind. Breathing slowly and think about the idea of the number 20. Somehow it seems to be a good number of minutes for meditation. So if you're meditating maybe 2 blocks of time, let it be around 20 minutes. Somehow 20 seems to be the number. It's like it takes your brain 20 minutes to understand that you're eating. So if you're overeating, start to eat and walk out and come back. Give your brain 20 minutes to realize you're eating. If you're using ice packs for any areas, 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, it reverses. If you are using heat pad, up to 20 minutes, it does what it's supposed to do, and after that, it reverses. If you are taking a nap during the day, up to 20 minutes, it's going to be very rejuvenating. In fact, you may have a longer life just because you take a nap, up to 20 minutes. After that, there is confusion between the physical body, your emotional bodies, and the way you function. Inhaling slowly, knowing that we still are in the state of doing. Do breathe, please. Do breathe consciously. The state of doing is like a ritual. So we still are in the ritual of doing. Like, for example, Muslims, before they start their prayer, they wash their hands. Then they wash their face. Then they put a wet hand over the head on the parting. Then they wash their feet, or simply just touch with wet hands, symbolically. They wash their hands again. Then they start to say things that most of them don't understand. It's a ritual to get them where they want to get. In Shafaw, we do. In doing, we reach into a plane of reality we call being. And then we unite with unity. So, let's title the following meditation: